Hi, I'm Matt Kapp, the lead artist on Binding of Isaac Rebirth and the creator of Castle in Darkness, and I listen to the One Up podcast.
Yeah, this how we do it, y'all. L-G-E, man.
Straight out of Diamond Style Production.
What up to you, One Up Gaming? They're not really ready for this one. One Up Gaming is behind me. Let me get in beast mode. If you wanna try me, you don't need a cheat code. Conte is who I be. To you is Mr. Hero, legendary adversary. Flows considered lethal. I'm a Super Saiyan. I got Dragon Balls. I wouldn't lie. You might think I'm playing when I'm saying I can really fly. When I'm on the track, you feel the energy I'm pushing out. Put me on the map. One Up Gaming's who I'm talking about. I'm the rapping Master Chief, epic to say the least. Contain the hero, better etch that in your memory. And so the One Up Gaming for the show out. Contain the hero is really gonna show out. Show out. Contain. And so the One Up. And so the One Up.
Dope bitch you ever heard.
Hi, David here, One Up Gaming, episode 394 of the One Up Gaming podcast. This one is going to be a quick one. There's a lot of games I played this week. I've had to move things around because it's the birthday week next week. So I'm going to go through on next week's show, it'll be all my favourite games. So not going to be every single favourite game, just like about 20-25 games. I'll just play through a lot of the games that I used to love as a kid and some new sort of stuff. So I've moved some games around that we've been playing to make a bit of space on the schedule. So as always, we're sponsored by Games Inspired Music. Please buy it, rent it, stream it, use the music in any YouTube videos, that type of thing. And basically, we'll give 20% of each sale to the Child's Play charity. So that's amazing. That's really nice. You can also get our first 100 podcasts available on audiobooksontape.com. And £1 of each sale will go to the Diabetes UK charity. So without further, we'll go straight into this week's show. So back after this quick little message.
Hi, I'm Lucy James, and I listen to the One Up Gaming podcast.
Hello, Andy. This is Colin. I won't be able to get in tonight. I'm sweating like a pig.
Right. So, still David, still One Up Gaming, still episode 394 of the One Up Gaming podcast. As always, sponsored Games Inspired Music. They have been with us for years and years. Just buy it, stream it, use the music, and 20% of each sale will go to the Child's Play charity. So as I say, this is 394 of the One Up Game podcast. We've lumped in a load of games into this week's show because next week is going to be the birthday special where we're going through all of my favourite games. I love a lot of games. I love a lot of rubbish games, so you'll see some of the rubbish that I love. So this week we're just going to move things around. So in total there is 14 games that I played this week. So yeah, we'll just get straight into it. First up, Top Racer Collection. Now these are old school style, like Outrun sort of looking games. 2D, sprite scaler, that sort of thing. They're quite fun, they're quite nice. I always felt as though, unless it was a proper good, like System 32 sort of like arcade board pushing it, the sprite scaler stuff just didn't work very well. So on Mega Drive, Amiga, those sort of machines where I think this was like an Amiga racer. I think it was originally Top Gear Racer, I think. And then because of licensing issues, they've had to change it to the Top Racer collection. So you do get 1, 2, Top Racer 3000, I think it was called, and there's a brand new game that uses like the first engine to sort of like make a game, new levels, new tracks and stuff. So yeah, it plays alright, it looks nice. I do think that the second and third game are the better ones. I just didn't like the first game, how it was always split screen. I mean, you might be able to change it in the menu, but from what I played, the second and the third just played that little bit better. I do love this style of game, like boost, turbo, that sort of thing. And yeah, it looks nice. Nice pixelated graphics. Plays well. A lot of little options, a lot of like things, collectibles and unlockables and things like that. And it's just nice that there is like collections out there like this, preserving some of the old games. So there is 2 games that I'll get mixed up. So I'll just say both of them, and I'm so sorry for the pronunciations. See, I can't even get that right. So first of all, Japanese Romaji Adventure. Romaji Adventure. And Karakuri-kun, A Japanese Tale. Now both these are really small, top-down, like Super Nintendo style Japanese RPGs. One of them is just like your average adventure sort of game, going through, doing bits and bobs. The next one, I can't remember which one it was because we're both like Japanese developers, and they just said we don't have to do reviews, just put videos up of the games on your YouTube channel. So that's what we're doing. We're just talking about it here. But one of them, it literally was, it would be talking away to you, and then it'd mix in some bits of Japanese, and then as it was going through, it was saying later on into the game we will drop a lot of the English and it'll be Japanese, and we are teaching you the basics of some sort of Japanese language. I can't remember which one it was, but I really thought it was great. Do you know what I mean? It's a game, so you're playing it and you are filtering in that information, you're absorbing that information, and it's actually trying to teach you a new language as you're playing through. So I loved the idea. So both games look like it's the exact same engine, probably the same developers, just different stories and different sort of little bits and bobs. I would say they're good. They're on Steam. Buy them, and yeah, they're not a bad little game. Not bad. So that's Japanese Romaji Adventure and Karakuri-kun, A Japanese Tale. Yeah, that'll do. That'll do. I don't know what I'm talking about half the time. So next up we have Ed Zero Zombie Uprising. Or Ed O Zombie Uprising, I don't know. And this one is quite a basic Souls-like sort of game, but it's like arenas. So it's like you basically spawn into like a little arena. You have to kill all the monsters in that little arena. Then a portal opens up. You go to the next little arena, and it's just that ad nauseum. I didn't think it looked very good. I didn't think it played very well. I think it was a Namco game. Bandai Namco? I don't know, but it was very, very wishy-washy to me. I wasn't impressed with the movement, with the characters, with how it all played, but you guys might love it, and it might be me that's an idiot. So next up, Paw Patrol World, and this one is, for me, it's a bad game. It just doesn't play very well. It looks funky, but if you are like a 5 to 8 year old kid and are into Paw Patrol, it is a kid-friendly Grand Theft Auto open-world adventure game. So, if you are a little kid and you love this sort of thing, you will probably love this game. So because of that, I can't give it a bad review, a bad score, because it is a kids game. I just feel as though sometimes kids games get a pass for being a bit janky, whereas no, kids still know shite games. I mean, I used to play a lot of shite games when I was a kid. I knew they were shite, but I still played them. So I guess that's what they're hoping. But yeah, Paw Patrol World, open world. It's got like 5 or 6 pups to play as, I don't know. Each pup's got its own little vehicle to play in, and it was just weird. Not my sort of thing, but I can see where there is a market for it. One of the better games I played this week, New Star GP. Now this is like an old school flat shaded polygon sort of game, and it looks kind of like the virtual racing of the style. It's very high resolution though, you know, it's very crisp. There's no jagged lines on any of these sort of like pixels. It looked good, it played well. It's got like a full career mode, it's got all these arcade modes. It's a good game. I played it on the Switch, and I was just really, really impressed with how good the game actually was. But yes, I'd say it's one of the better games that I played this week. So anyway, next up, Warhammer 40,000 Boltgun. Now this one is a Doom alike, so it's just fast paced, run around, shooty, blood and guts, pixelation everywhere. It looks amazing, and yeah, it's a great game, absolutely amazing game. If you don't have it, buy it. It's great, absolutely. Fast, fluid, smooth, not overly simple, but also not overly complex, and it just plays really well, really fluid. Good game. Next up, Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, again on the Switch. I had a few Switch games on here, and I've always wanted to play this game. I don't know why. I've never been a big like puzzly sort of game, but I liked the idea. I thought it looked nice, but actually playing the game, it's a bit stilted. It's a bit, the momentum's not quite there. Moving the levels around with the sticks and stuff, it just didn't feel good. So yeah, it's an okay game. It's a 6 out of 10. Do you know what I mean? It's just it's okay to play. You can just pick it up, 10 minutes later put it down. No hard feelings. So I had a quick go at Luigi's Mansion 3, and when I say a quick go, I had a really quick go, and it just felt so slow to how I remembered the Luigi's Mansions game on the GameCube, and it just didn't have that feel, you know, whereas on the GameCube it felt a lot more snappy and the movement was really good. It just felt a lot slower. Other than that, it's almost the same sort of game. You'll get new abilities when you get into the game a bit further, but when I was playing it, the story didn't seem great. I weren't really getting pulled into it. So yeah, I wouldn't really recommend Luigi's Mansion 3. It might get so much better, but I hate the games that take an hour to get into the actual story in the game. So yeah. Next up, Star Wars Dark Forces Remaster. And this one is shock horror, a remaster of a game from 1995, 1996, that type of era. And this one is by, is it Shock Knights? Shock Dive? Someone like that, I can't remember now. And they use their own engine, and they've done a load of remakes recently. I think they did the Turok 3 and the Turok remakes, and they did the Exhumed, and I can't remember what it's called in other regions, but in the UK it was Exhumed. They did that remake, and they've been doing amazing games. And this one again is really good. I loved how it felt, how it played. I've just never played it before, and I got lost on the first level. And then I got to the top of the level where you're supposed to go to get into your ship, and I pressed every single button on the control pad, and I could not work out how to get into the ship, so I turned it off. But the first level looked amazing, it played really well. So I would say if you get past that point and you get into the game, it'll be a really, really good game. So a couple of really old games now. Shox Rally Reinvented. And this one is a proper old school arcade racer made for the PlayStation 2. Graphically, it's good, especially for the system and how early it was. It was from EA Sports Big label, so they were proper over-the-top arcadey, really gorgeous, colourful graphics, and it just plays really well, and I really, really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really good little game. So if you're into your old school sort of games and you haven't heard of that one, haven't played that one, Shox Rally Reinvented, really good little game, I'd recommend that. And people might not realise, but yes, I am a Newcastle United fan, and I had to play Club Football 2005 Newcastle United edition, and the gameplay itself isn't very good. The movement, the shooting, the passing just feels a bit off. Like a lot of games that aren't EA or Konami, I can't remember. ISS, Pro Evo Soccer sort of games. I don't know if it's used the sort of engine that was in the LMA Manager sort of games or not, but it looks similar, very smartened up and played. It looked a lot better. Some of the player faces are amazing, they're really freaky, and I just love the fact that you can unlock videos and player profiles and stuff. So it's all dedicated to Newcastle United. So there's like a history museum, videos and all that kind of stuff, and I was really impressed with it. So if you're a fan of, say, Celtic or Liverpool or Man United or anyone like that, then Club Football did do about 25 editions of their game exclusive with the squads and the players and stuff. So there might be one of your favourite team out there, and give it a go, see what you think. I thought it was alright. I might actually play it a bit more just to unlock some of these like unlockable things. So next up, Warhammer 40,000 Dakka Squadron, and this one is a third-person flight combat sort of game. Very arcadey, very bad graphics. It just looked really off. Now, I played this on the Nintendo Switch, so that might have been a reason why it looks rather dodgy and rather bad. But the movement was okay, the controls were okay. It just didn't grab me, and I was really not into this game when I started playing it. And the last game that I played this week was Postal Brain Damaged. And this one is, if anyone knows Postal, we've interviewed the guys a few times on our show, and I'd never even knew this one was out on the Nintendo Switch. So I downloaded it thinking it'd be like a basic mini game collection or a puzzle game collection, something like that, but oh, no. It is a full first person shooter sort of experience. It's made in, I think it was made in Unity. Was it Unity? So it had that simple mobile-esque aesthetic to it, but the intro was bad because it was so compressed. It was so grainy and so blurry. It was amazing how they actually managed to get that released on a device. But the gameplay itself was quite fun. Very much like your basic open world first person puzzle sort of game. Collect a switch, go to another room, get a key, go back to a different room, open the doors, get a summit, and then it's got like your dogs and your people you gotta shoot and kill. And graphically it was fine for the Switch. It played well, it didn't chug. So I guess in that type of thing, that's all you need. Something to play really well and just not die. So that is the games we've been playing this week. I will say that I believe the game of the week will be New Star GP. So if you've got a PlayStation, Xbox, PC, Switch, buy it. It's a great little racer. Hopefully you'll enjoy it. And before we go, I do have to say that I managed to watch the entire final couple of seasons of The Last Ship, and I've never read the book, but I've bought the book on my Amazon Kindle, and I've also got the audio book, which is like 29 hours. So it looks as though it's a really, really big, beefy book. So I'll give that a go, see if it actually, how it follows the scripts of the show. But throughout the 5 seasons, the first season, I'll go through a quick synopsis. The first season, the ship is sent to the Antarctic to do training and do exercises. But really, it's because the Doctor has to do research, and they have to get away from the population of the world to keep away, because there's a deadly virus that's killing everyone. By the end of the season, they find the cure. So season 2 is trying to give the cure to the United States, doing all that good stuff. And then season 2, it starts going into a bit more of the United States is getting rebuilt, and the people that are rebuilding it don't trust the president, and then like basically it's a war between the good people and the bad people, trying to get. Some people don't believe there should be a president; they should own their own lands, and so they're trying to destabilize the president and that kind of stuff. Season 3 was more of the same. I think it was like, it was season 3 more like, yeah, that was again like that, but there was like the actual people who were immune to the disease. They felt as though they should rule the world, and they were trying to kill everyone and all that stuff. Season 4, they're going over to China and Japan and that sort of area, and things happen. And then season 5 is the South American, so Colombia, all those sort of things, trying to invade the US and try and take over the world. And they must have known that the series was coming to an end, because I felt as though it was a really good little ending to the show. It was very heartfelt, and I just think it was a great series and a great couple of seasons in there. First season was absolutely outstanding. It was just the fact of, oh my god, people are dead and you have no idea why. Their eyes are bleeding. What the is going on? And it was just a great show. I really enjoyed it. If you haven't heard of it, go find where you can watch The Last Ship. It's a great show, and I really, really enjoyed it. So thank you all. It's been me, David, One Up Gaming, episode 394 of the One Up Gaming podcast. Quick break, and we're back with 10 minutes of nothing. So back in a couple of seconds.
Hi, I'm Keith Allen, and I play Murphy on Z Nation, and I listen to One Up Gaming podcast.
Up next on the One Up Gaming podcast is 10 minutes of nothing. Will it be the team talking about nothing, or a guest interview? Stick around and find out now. It's 10 minutes of nothing. Yeah, 10 minutes of nothing.
David here, One Up Gaming. We're going to continue on with our podcast. I believe this one is for episode 394 of the One Up Gaming podcast. This is going to be the 10 minutes of nothing. And basically 10 minutes of nothing is a feature where we have 10 minutes and we have to try and talk about that feature for 10 minutes. If we run out of time, perfect. That means we've talked a load of crap about that thing, and hopefully you've got some insight into what we've been going on about. If we run out of ideas and run out of things to say within that 10 minutes, then we have failed. So there's a 10-minute timer that'll pop up at the bottom of the screen so you can see how long we've got left. And, well, I guess we'll sort of like get into this now. I will say this timer. Did I say my name's David? I don't know. David here, One Up Gaming. 10 minutes of nothing starts now. So this week we're going to talk about the 0.5 console refresh, because I'm old. I am 42. I had to think then. I am 42 years old. I'll be 43 in a month's time, and I remember like the super. Well, no, I guess the NES, the Master System, and they didn't do mid-cycle refreshes. They did updates to how they looked and how they felt, but the basics of the chips were the same. You could buy a game that was made 10 years later and still play it in the old machines if your console would work, because the NES, that top loader, Jesus, that spring mechanic, it knackered up so quick on that Nintendo Entertainment System. I guess that's why the was it the NES Junior that came out in America? It was like a top loader. But again, same for the Super Nintendo and the Mega Drive or the Genesis. That again had new revisions, but the basics of the consoles were the same. So they never really had a performance upgrade or any boost in visual aids, anything like that. Things that happened like that back in the day was a cartridge with chips built into the cartridge. So you had the virtual, oh god, what was it? The VRP, virtual reality processor. I can't remember now. For the Mega Drive, that was on. It basically just had virtual racing. That was the only game it was used with. And the Super Nintendo had the Super FX chip made by Argonaut Software, I think it was. And they just allowed 3D environments. They allowed better performance. But that was just one thing that would work. That's where the Sega 32X sort of came into it. Because that was basically what Sega thought was people want better things. And with having better things, the cartridges were like $100, like £90 each. And it was like, well, no one's going to pay that kind of money for the games. So Sega thought, well, we'll make a device that's £150, plug it into the Mega Drive, and that was basically the chips on the Virtua Racing sort of game for the Mega Drive. And yes, it had a lot more things happening to it and a lot more, but that allowed Sega to release normal cartridges that just ran on the faster hardware that was built into the 32X, so the games could be $50-$60, back to the normal sort of prices. But again, there wasn't the Super Mega Drive or the Super Nintendo Pro. They were just the consoles, and then the Sega Saturn, the Nintendo 64 came out, and again with the PlayStation there was the PlayStation 1 which came out, but that didn't do any upgrades or any improvements. It just made it smaller and cuter. Sega Saturn didn't survive long enough really. It had a revision, a refresh. The control pad was slightly different. It had round buttons instead of oval buttons, I believe. And it went from like a nice premium looking piano black, really shiny black, to a matte black sort of finish on the front of it. But it didn't really change the internals. Oh well, there was changes, but they were all different, like Mitsubishi, Motorola, all that type of thing. Mitsubishi, I can't remember. But they were all different chipsets, but they all worked to the same goal. So there wasn't any inherited upgrades. Same with the PlayStation 2, Xbox, and the GameCube. They all just came out, did their life cycle, and then the Wii, the Xbox 360, and the PlayStation 3 came out. This is when things started to get a little bit changed. I remember back in the day when you get a PlayStation, and when the PlayStation 2 was out, you could pick up the PlayStation brand new for like 50 quid. And every year when it was on the market, it had dropped down £50. So it started off at 300, and after a couple of years it was down to 200, and then it came down to 150. The PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360 generation was the first one where the machines came out and they basically dropped down to like £200, I believe. £250, £200, that kind of price. And they stayed that price throughout the full cycle of the machines. Now, whether that's good or bad, it just prolonged the life of these game machines, these consoles. And I've just felt as though that didn't want to do any upgrades. And then the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 came out. The PlayStation 4 was, I'm not going to lie, it was made significantly better than the Xbox. Xbox was, at that stage, much more focused on multimedia, split screen, split the processors, all that type of thing. But because of that, it made the processor it had not as good as the PlayStation 4. So, but then this was the first generation of the 0.5, where it was the PlayStation 4 Pro and the Xbox One X sort of came out, I believe, and also the One S. But the One S was slightly better, but the One X was significantly better. I think that was even better than the PlayStation 4 Pro, and it got what they wanted. It had slightly better technology, not massively better, and it just made the machines more expensive, and they dragged out the console cycle much longer. And it looks as though they are doing it again this generation. PlayStation 5 Pro is all but confirmed. It looks as though, I mean, I'm looking at these numbers. PlayStation 5 has an 8-core 16-thread Zen 2 at 3.5 GHz, and the PlayStation 5 Pro has an 8-core 16-thread Zen 2 at 3.5 GHz, which is identical, but it can go up to 3.85 GHz. So it's just, I think it's saying that it's like a 10% jump. The GPU, I don't know what the 60 CUs, RNDA 3 to be confirmed for the PlayStation 5 Pro, and it only was 36 CUs compute system, I don't know, RNDA 2, so that's older, is the graphics on it. And the teraflops, I mean, this means nothing to me. I don't care about teraflops. It's just a single computing random space or something, that's what. And the PlayStation 5 can do 10.23 teraflops per second. And the PlayStation 5 Pro can do 33.5. So it's a big jump. GDDR6 memory. They've both got 16 gig, but the PlayStation 5 is 14 gigabits per second, and the PlayStation 5 Pro is 18 gigabits per second. So it is just little bits here and there are just better, but in the grand scheme of things, it looks as though it's going to push it slightly. So instead of being like 4K 30 frames a second, it might be 4K 60 frames a second, depending on how they make things. It just goes on how they optimize it, how they do things. I just don't like this. I honestly think that the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One came into their generations 10 years ago woefully underpowered, and they just tried to prolong it. And then the same with the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5. They came into the generation a hell of a lot better, but now we are getting to the stage where we do need to have new consoles, and because of the pandemic and the chip shortages, people are just now starting to buy that. There is the timer. we have the timer. So, yeah, that's just my views and opinions of the PlayStation 5 Pro, PlayStation, like the Xbox Series XX, or whatever the hell they want to call it. Because I believe that they will try and do something if they haven't already got it up and running. Because games consoles are a numbers game. When you have a machine that the opposition can clearly say it will run 10% faster, then unless you're massively into the ecosystem, why the hell would you pay £500, give or take, for a console that you know is nowhere near as good as the competitor? So I do think that they will do something, even if it's to... But then they don't want to announce anything until it's almost ready, because you don't want to eat your own sales. So, yeah, it's just a mental weird situation that we find ourselves in. So, it's been me, David, One Up Gaming. Did I say it was... Oh, well... 394 of the One Up Gaming podcast. So we'll have a quick break. So I'll see you in a few seconds.
Hi, my name is Justin. I'm the developer of Per Rocket, an iOS space game with cats. And I listen to the One Up Gaming podcast. You can find a link to download my game at facebook.com/perrocket.
Yeah, so that was the 10 minutes of nothing. So thank you all for watching. It's been me, David, One Up Gaming, saying thank you so much. 394, I think. Did I say that? I can't even remember. I've baffled myself now. But anyway, thank you all for watching. Please go to our website, which is oneupgaming.co.uk. You can go to our Etsy store where you can buy hats like this, and you can buy t-shirts like this, the Sega Rally t-shirt I've got on. Just go to Etsy and search One Up Gaming. Sponsored, as always, by Games Inspired Music. You can stream the songs, download them, and put them on your YouTube videos. Buy the album on Amazon, and 20% of each sale will go to the Child's Play charity. If you are watching this and enjoy it, please subscribe, like, share, bell that icon, all that good stuff. And if you are listening to us on a podcast, on audio, then go to wherever you subscribe to podcasts, subscribe to us, give 5 stars, positive feedback, that type of thing. It really helps with the algorithm of getting us out there to more people. If you have any comments, any questions, please email us at contact@oneupgaming.co.uk. And yeah, we would love to hear from you. We'd love to have questions, love to have chats. So please, be safe, and we'll see you next week for my birthday special.
I'm a beast. Rawr. Putting my heart in this, with the ones who started this, so we don't want no part in this, so it's taking over, had to say it, gonna show you either way, you gonna really know of it. Lyrical genius, when I say it, bet I mean it, in a way my flow it is meaning. Not gonna back down, I will bow down, recognize the cues now. Hi, I am Contact, listen to what I say, about to show you the way that LGE came, evolution and change, revolution remains for LGE. The game has been missing a brain, and I'm claiming that name for LGE. Now you don't really want it, please believe I'm always on it, and I'll fight you to the death for LGE. Think you can play with me? No, you don't have to wait and see. I'll come to you and you will see about LGE. Cause I spit the coldest fire, oxymoron for deniers, such a beast to all you liars. LGE. Why don't you follow me? Cause take the hero obviously, and you will see that you should be about LGE. Oh no, it's fading out. See, my time is running out, and now you all know you should be about LGE. Putting my heart in this. so LG. It's taking over, had to say it, gonna show you either way you gonna really know of LG. Lyrical genius, when I say it, bet I mean it. In a way my flow give it its meaning. Not gonna back down, I will bow down. Not the king down.
I ain't more than just a lyrical crown, cause when you hear me, it's more than just sound. The words I spit be more than just nonsense. The more you hear me, the more that I'm common. You can hate on me, but hatred is a must. Time to show the world what to try to keep tough. This is LGE, that's what they gon' have you scream. You can say you had a throne, but I don't see no kings. You could call it me taking my shot, but I see it as the real recognize for what it's not. My eyes open and I can see for what it is. I choose to make mine and change how I live. By doing what I do, ain't worried about the dang biz. You can have a life, cause I got mine. Listen to the fact, LGE is on the rise. Yeah, it seems y'all the mind.
Put in my heart in this, so we're the ones who started this, so you don't want no part in this, so it's taking over, had to say it, gonna show you either way you gonna really know of lyrical genius, when I say it, bet I mean it. In a way my flow give it its meaning. Not gonna back down, I will bow down. Not the king now. Time, believe me, I wish it rewinded. See me, trick me into thinking that you haven't just begun to see me. Already done, not ready for, not an issue. If you mad, then you should let it go. We are set to blow to me, said that you know. Don't think they will miss you, no. They hear who they've been waiting for. LGE, I hope you know it now. Heard it from a poet, how lyrical genius we are. LGE, won't ever back down. Don't know how to act now. Glad to only be about LGE. You can agree about how we spit the heaters out. Only getting leaders out of LGE. Too bad it's over for you. This what we told you we do. Now you would know that it was LGE. Put in my heart. We put our heart in this. Started this, so you don't want no part in no LGE. We taking over. Had to say it. Gonna show you the way you gonna really know of cause the lyrical genius, when I say it, know it mean it. In a way my flow give it its meaning. LGE, not gonna back down, I will bow down. Not the kings now. LGE, put in my heart. Yeah, no, LGE, it's taking over. We're taking over. Gonna show you either way you gonna really know of LGE. Lyrical genius, when I say it, bet I mean it. In a way you know give it its meaning. LGE, not gonna back down. Reckon not the kings now, LGE. Yeah, that's how we do it, yeah, LGE. Contact, better feel me, LGE.